Alright, so this is our second time playing this deck, and honestly, I was pretty impressed with it the first time. I had low expectations going in, and it definitely thoroughly exceeded them. So Storm Herald here, Human Shaman, 3-2 with haste for 3. When this enters the battlefield, return any number of aura cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to creatures you control. And then this deck uses cards like Stitcher Supplier, Calls the Dead, Binding of the Titans, and then Tormenting Voice and Thrill of Possibility to put cards like Setessan Training, Ancestral Mask, Mark of the Vampire, and Prodigious Growth into our bin. And this deck is pretty regularly able to like suit this up on turns 4 and 5 as like a 30 power creature with trample and attack. Thanks to Binding of the Titans and Omen of the Dead, we can also mill into Storm Herald and then pick it up, which is sweet. Past that, when the Storm Herald plan isn't ideal in a matchup, post-board, our deck has this really nice pivot where we have Setessan Champion here along with Aphemia. And these two cards leverage our existing main deck enchantment plan while diversifying our threats post-board in the interactive matchups. We also have some Agonizing Remorse and Maelstrom Pulse as interaction of our own. And we'll get to, let's see how this one goes. This is one of the decks where when I get a moment, I need to add it as a new one to my website. Next week, I'm going to put some work in on the website. After the open happens. Brad is actually a part of the MTG Melee team. I don't know if he's done the actual development stuff, but I know he's done promoting and some testing for them. You know what? Basic Mountain is almost a welcome change of pace after the matches we just played, huh? I take it back. I take it back. More Esper. Give me the Esper, please. I would like one Esper back, please. This, in my opinion, is the one card they've added via historic anthology so far that was an incredible mistake. I think they've actually done an incredibly good job with the selection of cards that they've given us so far, but this one is god-awful. So, I guess we could theoretically kill them next turn, huh? While I'm busy complaining, we might actually kill them next turn. They're only hitting us for 8 on the attack, and then we get to Storm Herald them. Is Storm Herald lethal? I think it is, right? We have Growth, Mark, Training, Mask. I think they're dead if they cleave. Good clean turn 4 combo kill from us. Binding of the Titans here in the 3rd chapter. Picks our thing back up. And actually here, I'm supposed to say no blocks, right? Because if they cleave, I only take 10. And if I block and they hold up Bone Crusher Giant, they can kill my Storm Herald in response. So I think I'm supposed to say no blocks. This would be 6, 10. Because keeping the creature plays around a removal spell. And they could have double removal. I can't beat that. But if they're only on single removal, we can beat them here. The lifelink on Mask is relevant. Yeah, Storm Herald lets you attach the auras to any creature you have. So if they have a spot removal spell or like damage-based removal, you can play around it. Alright, so they should be dead here, right? I think they're dead. Yeah, Storm Herald actually kills them. Alright, I take it back. Burning Tree Emissary can stay. I take it back. I take it back. You can keep your Burning Tree Emissaries, friend. Oh, Magic's great. Buy its stuff. I just click submit. I think I just clicked submit, right? I laughed, I cried, you know. Good change of pace. Good change of pace from the grindy matches we just played. I think I mulligan this. I'm pretty sure any hand that has this into this is keepable in this deck. I'm gonna bottom the Omen here since I already have this. We turn 4 combo killed them. Yes, this deck is 100% going up on the website once I get time to do updates. All of my non-stream prep content time right now is going towards making sure the Hoaglandia Open's gonna be good. Once I get that sorted out. Bon Grippa, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Get to gain 2 here on this. Alright, open for some good hits here. Alright, that's a mark. And some calls the deads. We are going to be dead to cleave here this game. If they have it, it's over. It's over, chat. That's only fair, right? They killed us. We killed them on turn 4 last game. They killed us on turn 4 this game. Cleave ho! And this deck's gonna get Cathartic Reunion out of the new set, which is sick. You're the first streamer I ever subscribed to, and it's been a fabulous year. Smooky low. That's not a real word. Thanks for the 12 months, Smooky low. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. The 2020 enchantment isn't good in this deck for some reason, right? It does something that you don't want it to do, if I recall correctly. Is this good enough? I think I'm mulliganing. Sick. We keep getting fortunate and milling 2 creatures with this, so it gains us 2, which is great. I was a little greedy and bottomed the land. Hopefully that doesn't punish us here. Swish. Swish. Okay, so right now I'm getting back 2 things. Let's do this and see what happens. If this is nuts, we could kill them. Alright, so training is... So this is 4, 5, 7 is 12. So I get it for 15, so I'm just going to go ahead and Calls the Dead here. Okay, and then this should be lethal next turn then. If there's a next turn. Next turn could very well be an if. If I pitched Growth to Thrill, would it have been lethal? No, right? Because it would have been 7, 14, 15, 18. Thanks for putting an enchantment into play, yep. There's another trading. Okay, so Exile Calls the Dead. And then I believe this is lethal. We have an extra 2 here, too, because we can flash it Omen. If you didn't watch this deck last time, chat, it's felt very good. I think this deck's real. I think with the sideboard plan, it's pretty real. I would not be surprised if this archetype top eights the Open on Sunday. Are you just saying that because it would be fun to commentate? Yes. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. It can be fun to commentate while also being good. Sure. Maybe this is a mulligan, right? It doesn't have a red source either. Yeah, I think I should have mulliganed here. Well, we milled them an Uro, but this also gets to exile the Uros, so it's like not really a big deal. No counterspell there is great for us. This is also great for us, and so is that. You love to see it.
I would like to ask about anyone. Let me aid your research.
Oh, they're Nexus. Okay. Nexus is probably really hard for us, huh? Because they play Fog. So I can attack for 9 extra, so I have 9 10, 11, 12, 13. I could do 14 this turn. I think I'm just supposed to hit them while their shields are down. Mask does not count itself. Does not count itself. Thanks for the stream title, Poke. I'm definitely a deck behind. Oh, what's up, bud? How was your nap?
And fine.
Alright, so they found Brazen Borrower, unsurprisingly. Yeah, I bet this matchup's a challenge for us. Alright, down to 3.
I know this somewhere.
Alright, so we got Return to Nature, Maelstrom Pulse, Agonizing Remorse here. Am I supposed to just turn into a fair deck? I think I'm supposed to just turn into a fair deck, right? Just because their bounce spells are so good against us. I think that's the plan. Yeah, I think that's the plan. This might be wrong to keep, if only because it's slow. Double Agonizing Remorse is pretty appealing, but again, like, decks like Nexus of Fate, you don't beat them by not pressuring them. So, like, in addition to having Disruption like this, we also need to be running them down. And our pressure is going to be slow to get going here. Yeah, I'm who's super excited to get their Mutate monsters, Aether Gusted, and Teferi and Brazen Borrowed? I know I am. Hey, Snake, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I appreciate the support. And then you should also remember that when the Future League tested these formats, they had Mutate in the same format as Oko. That was a reasonable thing to have happening, they thought. Is this my preferred list for this archetype? Yes. I got a bit badge. Thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate the biddies. Oko makes the entire mutate elf. An elk, it does. I think I just lead on this. They might just draw 2 here unless the spell is good. This card is good. Elks are non-human, so you can mutate on them. Oh, can you not mutate onto humans? Is that a thing? Is that not allowed? Mutate is only for non-humans. Wild. It's an interesting way to make the human creature type a drawback. Yeah, Agonizing Remorse is a premium discard spell. I'm actually going to be pretty sad when they eventually print Thoughtseize into this format on our way to getting Pioneer on the client. Because I really think Thoughtseize is a pretty big stain of a card, and I prefer the format without it.
That's more like it.
Probably dead here. Again, just a good example of having a little bit of disruption, but with no pressure is just not good enough. Yeah, I don't think we can beat that at this point. Thoughtseize makes fair decks more viable. Not really. Would Cinder Vines be better than Return to Nature? Maybe? I could see that. Oh yeah, that's true actually. There's a good working example in Pioneer right now. Look at Inverter is a really good comment. I thought Stream Decker was updated. Yeah, it looks great. I'd be kind of surprised if Nexus is one of the better decks in this format. I think Nexus is good against bad decks, but like against like Gruul and even like the well-built field decks, I feel like Nexus isn't really that good. They printed a lot of tools to be good against that archetype in recent sets. Favorite borderless card? Unsure. Nexus kind of like Lantern Control. Not really. Lantern Control was extra tedious because you had to stay engaged with it the entire time. With Nexus of Fate, when they start doing their thing, you can just walk away from your computer at least, or like pull up a browser and do something else. How much of a tip to get Nexus banned from Sunday? $5,000. Glad to hear Lantern Control is something on Nexus. Alright, gotta get some good hits here on Binding and Calls the Dead, and we can get going. That's a really good start. Get a Mark and a Prodigious Growth. The Binding into Calls the Dead really sets you up for a good turn 4 Storm Herald a lot of the time. Unfortunate we didn't mill 2 creatures there, so we only get to gain 1 life. And I think we just do this, and we Calls the Dead to get a blocker. Yeah, we could just die to a turn 4 cleave. I mean, if we don't die to cleave, we win the game next turn. So cleave will be 8, 11. Yeah, so super dead to cleave, not dead otherwise. I guess Questing Beast is also lethal here. Questing Beast is exactly lethal. That is not lethal. Please be dead. 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 Don't shock me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, yeah. You love to see it, chat. The old 28 shoe. Casual 28, 27 lifelink triple. Binding's not limited to your graveyard. Exile 2 target cards from graveyards. Ooh, that's a good catch. Thank you for pointing that out. That's the thing. For those of you that came in during the Nexus matchup and weren't sure what we were doing, that's what we're doing. I think on the draw, I'm going to cut the 2 Tormenting Voices and bring in the 2 Maelstrom Pulses, but otherwise run it. This deck's super sweet, and it does that pretty consistently. That was turn 4. Yep. Yeah, turn 2 Binding, turn 3 Calls the Dead. Lets you pivot into turn 4 lethal a lot of the time. What's going on, Thomas? Yeah, this one's sweet. I expect a few people to be playing this on Sunday. It's really sick. I think this is a mulligan. I ain't here to be super interactive, right? I think this is also a mulligan. Well, poop. There goes those sideboard cards. All right, that's fantastic. So we have Omen of the Dead in our hand already here. So like, if we find our way into a what's it called, flipping into the bin off of one of these, we can pick it back up. And then we can get loaded up to go. This definitely feels like a deck where your mulliganing decisions are really key. Having the right opener is pretty important. You know, there's a lot of hands you're going to look at where just like you don't do anything, and mulliganing those to hands that are functional seems pretty important. Do I just do this? I'm gonna Calls the Dead. You can just double block. Wow, those are bad mills. Thought the idea behind the suppliers was to get them killed so you can kill more of your deck. Yes, that's correct, but I needed a creature to put Setessan Training on so I could draw a card. And putting Training on it allows me to trade up as opposed to just jump blocking. I expect my opponent's aggro deck to attack me again at some point this game. Alright, with the right mills, if we draw a land, we can kill them next turn. Spank Weasel. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, we're gonna get cleaved here, but it's not the end of the world if we peel well. I had a moment last night where I was editing my deck and I thought, what would Jeff say I needed? So I added a land. Smart. Smart. One, two... I only have 2 in there, right? Yeah, our mills have not been good. I think I do this and just hope to get another turn. Hope like the 6 cards this puts in. Oh, that's awful. I've got 3 more hits here. Yeah, got three more chances. Because I don't have triple black, Tom. For people asking why I didn't bring back the other supplier, I'd encourage you to think about how we cast our spells. Mask! Yeah! Are they dead? I think they're dead. And I'm gonna play this, because it gives me an extra... It gives me an extra 2/2. I don't know if they're dead. If they're not dead, we're dead, so let's find out. Gonna be close. Woo! The old exactly lethals in the morning. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. The old exactsies. I thought you hated Combo Winter. So, it's really important, and this is something a lot of people don't understand because people like hot takes and they don't like understanding nuance. I don't think combo decks are an inherently bad thing to exist in Magic. What I think are inherently bad things to exist in Magic are combo decks that have incredibly narrow axes of interaction through which you can beat them. This deck cares about its graveyard, and it cares about creature removal. There are so many different ways and cards that you can play to interact with what this deck is doing. It's incredible. My issue with Pioneer right now is that Heliod combo and Inverter combo are incredibly difficult to interact with, and they're fast, and they play their own efficient disruption. It does, Spearburger. Thanks for the entire year. Past that, my other problem with Pioneer is that the format has cards that are now banned in it that are worse than cards that are legal. So the ban list is inconsistent, and the decks that remain legal are decks that are difficult to interact with. I would like the record to reflect that I am a trained professional and you should not attempt what you see on this stream at home. Maybe consider mulliganing this hand. Or don't. I don't know. I'm not your dad. You do you. I ain't your boss. You're my stream dad. God bless. God bless us, everyone. I think I'm actually going to keep the training because the training could cantrip down the line for me here. Alright, so if they tap out, they're dead next turn. I've got Growth, Mask in the bin. We got Storm Herald. Does that mean you can tell Declan and Jake when to mulligan? Yes. Oh, this is actually lethal, right? This is 14, 18, 21, plus 2 more in play. Is this just like another turn 4 kill? This is just like another turn 4 kill, right? Hey, Espilak, thank you for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I think this deck is genuinely good. I think this deck is really exceptional at racing the other linear decks in this format. And honestly, decks like this one being good in the format are good for the format because this deck encourages you to interact or die. This is a deck that's similar to Splinter Twin or Infect or stuff like that, where you put the onus on them, but there's so many different ways they can interact that they just need to pick some of them. This deck punishes linear dirtling. Exactly correct. Exactly correct. I almost cut Disfigure from my side. Correct, yeah. Disfigure, if they don't have another creature, just disfiguring the Storm Herald means they can't kill you. This feels very... I don't even know if Infect's the right comparison, because Infect always played things like Blossoming Defense and, like, you know, Dive Down and stuff like that. And this is, honestly... This deck is a refreshing reminder that it's so hard to judge a book by its cover in this format. When Dwight, who's a longtime sub, originally submitted this, I told him I wasn't interested in playing it. I was like, this just looks too glass cannony. I don't think it's going to assemble consistently. I was like, I'm going to pass. And I'm really glad that he poked me and sent me some screenshots. I was like, Jeff, I think you should try this. I think it's good. And it was like, all right, yeah, sure. I'm really glad that I gave it a shot. There's just time and time again, there's really no substitute for hard work and magic. You just, even with someone as much experience as myself, I need to get in and actually play with the cards and see what's going on. It's just so impossible to judge. Opponent with the heads up play. What's Dwight's Twitch username? I don't remember. I think it has Dwight in it. I think it might just be his name. I think someone said they pulled the list off of you, Prep. Did you do some work on this archetype? I don't know. I don't really track who owns deck lists, because there's just so many variations of things out there. I wonder if I'm supposed to keep that and just, like, plan to put it on my creature at some point. Rough. It's very RNG, but consistent. I don't think this deck has similar RNG to that archetype at all. I don't know that I really agree with that comparison. So I have 2 growths in here. Alright, YOLO. Gazni, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yes, gaining Cathartic Reunion in the new set's going to be awesome. I think I'm just jamming this again. And actually, I think I'm going to play the land, because they could have, like, Mystic Dispute in their deck reasonably. Wow, that's rude. How rude. Why would they have the indecency to interact with me like that, chat? What kind of monster do you think they are? Being interactive? What do they think this is? Yeah, we could be dead here, huh? Are they deterministic? Okay, so we're dead. For those not familiar with the opponent's deck, I think it's also an excellent deck. The deterministic combo in their deck is they get Breach out. They get Breach out, and then they have 2 Diligent Excavators along with 2 Mox Opals, and then every time they cast a Mox, they get to mill 4, and it costs them 3 to mill the Mox. So they then deck themselves out deterministically here, and then eventually win the game with Thassa's Oracle. So again, like, that was a really good example of how you can beat the deck that we're playing. My opponent had an efficient way to win the game, but then they also interacted with me so I couldn't race them down. So that scotch of interaction was really important. Do I want Return to Nature of my own? Nah, I'm gonna be on the play. Let's just try and kill him. In it to win it, chat. We don't have the 2-mana green spell, but we got Supplier and we have an Omen to bring back the Storm Herald later. And we got a lot of things to flip cards into the board. Hey, good luck, CJ. Alright, 1 binding down. Perfect. I think I'm supposed to ditch a Calls the Dead here. I think it would be greedy to ditch the land. Our deck doesn't play that many lands in it. So enough graveyard decks to make Leyline of the Void worth it as a sideboard to destroy. Yeah, potentially. I think Leyline is a Leyline's like a break glass in case of emergency card, and I think you could definitely argue that, I think that this deck and decks like it could qualify as reasons to break the glass. So, always exile your sagas or creatures with this. Don't exile these, which you're going to be getting back with the Storm Herald. Yikes. Okay, yeah, and again, opponent coming in hot with the graveyard interaction, making a very real difference here. The indecency to interact with us. Cast Crappy Giant Growth. Go. So, obviously no creatures in my bin to get back, but it adds an enchantment for Ancestral Mask here, which is excellent. Sure. Do I want to draw this? I might want to draw that, huh? Yeah, I think I do. I'm like, what? Maybe I should have kept the land there and not played this turn. Oh my god, that's the second time I've done that in the last 2 days. It's not a good scene, chat. Alright, combo kill me so it didn't matter. Please? Rats. Well. Well, they'd probably be dead here if I had attacked for 8 the previous turn. I don't think it's worth taking 2 power off of this to scry 2. Yeah, it probably is. Good chance I find my way back to another enchantment here. Or a couple of enchantments, you know, no big. Ba-bee! Oh gosh, chat, are we gonna Storm Herald our way into Mythic? I think we're gonna Storm Herald our way into Mythic. Who wrote the Justice Scan? Someone with children, I hope. Alright, I guess. How do you make this in Standard? That's a good question. assume there's too many bounce spells for this deck to be standard playable, if I'm being honest. If they are a control deck, which is what it's looking like, this will be a matchup where we pivot into our sideboard plan. So against decks that are heavily interactive, we board in basically like 13 cards. Lead the Stampede as an Ikiora. Sweet. Deal. Apologies to everybody that just heard that Windows noise over the thing. That was me, and I turned off notifications, and apparently it didn't turn all of them off. Now that ping was me. I apologize. I need to figure out how to route everything through a particular thing. It's gonna take time to set up. It's not trivial on Windows. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year, Illustrate. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
Sorry I'm late.
Alright, so if we hit a Storm Herald here, it's not even that good because there aren't that many things in our bin. Man, still nothing, huh? It was the compatibility issue that forced the change to Windows. My internet keeps randomly disconnecting on my computer on my Linux setup.
Here we go.
And it's an intermittent connection issue. So there's like 800 different reasons that it could be having the issue, and I just like don't have time to debug it.
Time for plan reverse.
Yeah, I did that yesterday, Hoglander.
Skip to the good.
Oh, there is a separate system sound thing. I don't know what I muted yesterday. Oh, we turned off notification sounds yesterday. Notifications and system sounds are different? Sure. Why wouldn't they be? Why? Why not? Well, I mean, I'm technically getting back a thing next turn, but I don't even think it's lethal, right? I have 2 enchantments in here for it to get back. Yeah, we're about to see the rough side of variance anyway. There's also a high chance my opponent has a counter spell or a removal spell, so I'm gonna pick back up the Storm Herald. It doesn't even do anything.
Hold that thought.
So this is a matchup where we board in everything other than the Return to Natures. Pretty much pivot off of the enchantment plan. Yep. Well, pivot to a different enchantment plan. Less all in on enchant creatures, more enchantment value creatures. Yeah, if it wasn't causing my stream to disconnect, I would just like take the time and debug the issue over time, but the fact that like every time the stream disconnects you like lose half your viewers, so it's a pretty big job detriment. Do I play board games? This entire shelf behind me is stacked with board games. Oh, you said play board games. My wife collects board games. I don't know about play board games. Those are playing board games and collecting board games are slightly different hobbies. These are some of my favorites that we actually play, or we played when we still had people over. You could play them? I'm pretty sure they're just for looking at. That's fine. That's fine. We didn't want to make Mythic anyways. Alright. Sometimes it's just not in your favor. Alright, sure. They got this to pick back up something if this mills it. Casualties of quarantine. My son has now been shot in the eye with the Nerf dart. Rough. Medic! Archon John, thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that. Tier 3 subs, because they support me so much, they get to submit an arena deck every single month. Be sure to take a peek there at the forum on my website for doing that. I appreciate the support. Alright, there's already a mask in the bin, so I think... Oh, I already have a trample one in there too, though. Do I bin Prodigious Growth or mask first? Probably doesn't really matter. You're playing the Storm Herald mirror match. Godspeed. Beep, beep. Boop, boop. You're one of my favorite Magic content creators of all time. Longtime YouTube watcher, excited to join the Twitch community. Hey, welcome, John. And if you want to pick my brain too, when I'm offline as well, or chat with other members of the community, you should pop into the subscriber Discord server as well. Easy block here, just looking to fill the bin up. Really need to find our namesake card here ASAP. Well, hitting the black source there actually isn't all bad, because that allows me to go shock this in, Omen back to Stitcher Supplier, which I think is the line here. That puts 6 more cards in the bin, and with the other Omen in my hand here, this actually gives me 6 more looks at the Storm Herald. So, the problem with a card like the Wolf is that it doesn't really make you more resistant to removal, because they're just going to kill your thing in response to the trigger. Come on, thing. Come on, thing. Yikes. Yikes. Oh, also, they're hitting us for 12? No, 14, so I actually can't shock in anymore. Alright, so I think we're just deterministically dead, right? They have a stomp to finish us? Finish him! Yikes. Rough. Good clean turn 4 kill there. Playing Worlds is real good. And honestly, games like that where like we're both racing, one of the things I really like about this format is the fact that there's so many individually powerful things to be doing. Like, our deck has a good, strong linear plan that's disruptible, but, like, there are other decks that are also capable of just racing us. I don't know what aspect of the Lamprey does. That's cute. I don't know. The control matchup's bad because they kill your stuff. So, like, I'm not really sure that, like, putting more enchantments into your deck to fight that matchup is what you want. I actually think our sideboard plan is incredibly reasonable against the control decks. I know we just played a game where I, like, mulliganed to 4 and conceded the second game because, like, I was on 4 cards. I think that matchup's incredibly winnable on average. How did the Reebok sponsorship happen? They were looking to reach out to people who, make content in places, and they reached out to me. They sent me an email, and I responded. I tried their product, and I agreed to promote it. So there's a supplier in here. I think I'm just bland pass. And we'll pick up supplier next turn, and then put this on it. What a weird thought. That's actually very good against us, huh? I tapped the red source because I was being careless and not paying attention. The reason why I elected to make the bad play is because I wasn't paying attention. You know what? I probably should have played the Ancestral Mask last turn. I guess I just do this now because otherwise they're going to take my stuff here and I want to cantrip it. I get to smack them for 11 at least. This goes back down to a 3-2. Next turn, I can play Mark of the Vampire plus Training and then gain 6 at least. We got that going for us. Why does losing my discard matter? Can you explain? Why do I care about what my discard is? I mean, you can sit there and say Klothys isn't very good, but it's like single-handedly the reason they're winning this game. It's like more power to you. I'm not comboing through this card, Tom. Stop it, Twitch chat. That's kind of funny. Harsh but fair. Rough. Rough. Oh no, we were so close, chat. We were so close and it's all slipping away. It's all slipping away. this deck is weird because like your best hands don't have Storm Herald in the opener a lot of the time. It's like your best hands have like Stitcher Suppliers and the bounties in it. What's it called? The 2-mana card in it. Binding. Yeah, Binding's the name. Alright, are you opting or do you have some kind of creature opponent? Okie doke. Competitive Pokemon VCG. How does that even work? How does that even work, Psyduck? Do you like play on the Switch or a Game Boy or a DS or something? Oh no! Oh, chat! Hide your memes, chat! They're coming! They're coming for our memes! Oh no! Oh no! They're playing! Alright, so that's the metagame play. If you think the Hooglandia tournament's gonna have people playing this deck, the very clear choice. The very clear choice is to play the Blue-White Flyers deck we played. We played Blue-White Flyers yesterday with 4 main deck Remorseful Cleric. It was actually pretty good. I actually just started playing through Pokemon Sword. I have 3 badges, chat. My Pokemon are great. They're really strong. They run a program into your Switch to check your team. Then you sit like you are playing Magic, but instead of choosing attacks, and when instead of choosing attacks, it went to switch Pokemon out. It's two more than I have. I'm kind of a big deal. You can only enroll for the tournament if you've linked your Twitch account to your MTG Melee account. It's restricted to my Twitch subs only. I'm just gonna concede this match. I don't feel like playing against Graveyard Hate. I'm gonna try and punk people one more time. I ain't playing against 4 main deck Remorseful Clerics. We just got beat up twice. I ain't doing it again. Alright, take 3. Yes, Archon John. Yep. And in fact, for tier 3 subs, you can also do what I refer to as build-around submissions, where, even less generic than submitting an archetype, you can just submit a card or a small combination of cards that you would like me to attempt to build the deck around. And assuming that is something I think I can work with, I give it a try. Yeah, like this is a really good 5-card hand, right? Michigan stay-home order extended to April 30th. Yep. Probably Teferi. The plugin should be active. Maybe refresh your browser. Yeah, the plugin claims to be working. Do I do build-arounds for MTGO formats? Not really, just because brews aren't really competitive in most MTGO formats. There really aren't interesting things for me to be building around. Yeah, Burning Tree's a messed up card. I mulled the 5, and they still got the rubber trigger. I've been enjoying our dips back into Modern and Legacy and on Moto, but I've mostly been enjoying it because we're playing established good decks. Playing decks that are reasonable power level for the format lets you experience the play patterns in those format without just like getting your head punched in over and over and over again. Yikes. Alright, so we need a Raise the Dead or a Storm Herald next turn. One Omen, please. Alright, so everybody says. Is it crazy to want to play a third copy of Omen? I feel like it's not. I almost want a third copy of Omen over like one of these Tormenting Voices. You thought I was running 4? No, yeah, we only have 2 of them. Yeah, I feel like after like Omen's pretty good in the post board games against Control too for like rebuying your things. I think that would cut too many auras, Galloway. I also think Glowspore Shaman's a pretty bad Magic card. Like, only milling 3 cards is pretty low. Like, this mills 6, this mills 3, but it gets us our namesake back. Is a pretty big deal. Yeah, Cathartic Reunion's gonna be real sweet. This hand is very good. Our mills might not end up being very good, but the hand is good to start. Binding into Calls is just like everything you want in life in this archetype. So, there's a tweet in my timeline, and actually Marty retweeted it. Just in, Fauci says, I don't think we should shake hands ever again. He must secretly be a Magic player, huh? He must secretly be a Magic player? Doesn't think we should shake hands ever again? What's the most resource-efficient ways to get dual lands? Buying booster packs of the sets that they're in. Alright, if this is good, we can kill them. Is that lethal? So... So, no, this is 9. Yeah, nowhere near. I'm going to write up some of those details tomorrow, Socio Penguin. Is there any argument for needing for 12 there with lifelink? What's the argument? Instead of asking me, is there an argument, can you give me the argument? This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Sure, no blocks. Because, like, not doing that means I get to kill them this turn. I'm going to mill any non-auras there. I mean, Grull's the best deck in this format. It's very, very powerful and very popular on the ladder. I also think this deck is a pretty okay Grull matchup if we run close to average. Sure, but like, this is why it's important to have reasons to do your things, Maget, instead of just taking random game actions. You're right that my opponent needs to kill us before we kill them, but a good example of saying, hey, should we lifelink there is, you shouldn't just say, should we lifelink? You say, okay, what am I playing around by lifelinking, and how do I win the game after I lifelink if I pull the trigger and do that? Those are the two questions you need to ask yourself. By taking this game action, how am I playing around things that my opponent could have? What are they potentially gonna have that we could miss? Hey, someone sent me a bunch of Ajani sleeve codes. Alright, copy and paste, go. These are for the F&M Ajani sleeve, if you don't have those already. The Super Mim, thanks for the 15 months, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Easy mulligan here, just doesn't do anything. This hand's like not amazing, but it's definitely in the range of keepable. I'm gonna bottom the growth. Supplier into Setessan Training is fine in this matchup. It like trades for one of their things and puts a bunch of stuff in our bin. Shout out to Curran again for providing those. Those are pretty poopy mills. Binding of the Titans is an absurd draw here. Very, very good. Deal. Yep, resolves. Gosh, why are we so unlucky? That's super unfortunate. Come on! Come on! Ah! What a tilter. What a just total tilt fest. At least they're missing their third land, huh? Hey, come on, give me a Storm Herald and put some enchantments in there. Alright, sweet. Look at that. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. And again, like, this is why this deck is so powerful, I think, because it takes so little for it to come together a lot of the time. We were, like, really unfortunate for a lot of that there, and so we were like, okay, we hit those, and, like, we're potentially in this game. Man, we break down enchantments again. Holy gosh. Seriously? That's so unfortunate. I think we're dead, chat. I guess I get, like, I don't even have the lifelink one in here, right? Like, there's only 2? There's been 1 Prodigious Growth and 1 Setessan Training. And all the cards we milled? Rough. I mean, it smacks them for 11 and draws us a card. I don't have a play other than that, right? So, like, I guess. This deck has like 12 Kiki Jikis in it, chat, and I can't keep them out. all the Kiki Jikis are in my hand. If my hand was in my graveyard, we would have won. Why? Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Kiki number 5. Alright, so I think we want more Omen of the Dead. Probably, I don't know. Like, that last game wasn't even about Omen of the Dead, right? It's gotta run LED. We've got 15 auras here. That's probably the right number. It's probably just like Tormenting Voice out, Omen up. It's probably what you want to do. I like that Omen gives you more grind when you go into the post-board plan too. Like getting your champions back after they kill them tends to be really powerful. I think when Ikiora drops, the thrill of the possibilities just become Cathartic Reunion. Like, churning through more cards seems potentially very good. Just, like, seeing more hits to get to your Storm Heralds and get to your cards to get your Storm Heralds seems ideal. I need to, if I was going to work on this deck some more, I think I would sit down and go over the math of, like, what are the average number of mills you need to flip over to find lethal with 15 enchantments, with 14 enchantments, with 16 enchantments, and like find out how many percentage points you're gaining and losing based on ranges that you're milling by raising and lowering these number of cards. This deck would love a Grizzly Salvage. That would be really, really good. If you were to try something like this in Pioneer, you could try something like that. Of course, you don't have Mask in Pioneer, so I'm not even sure the archetype works there. Yeah, Mask does not count itself, but it counts your opponent's enchantment. It's just like one of those cards, you don't see them templated right like this anymore, right? This is from Mercadian Mask, which is forever ago. Now, don't see this templating like this very much anymore. If you're looking for a sweet meme and something that genuinely feels pretty powerful, I know we got a little bit unfortunate at the end there, but with all of these cards, it's pretty consistent, and Omen of the Dead, more of these should make it even more consistent, I think. Alright, so we are going to wrap up today with some Golos Nexus Field here in Historic. I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick ad roll while I get set up for this one. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for hanging out today, folks.